All right, everybody. Hey, it is Gryftkin here because I didn't think of a really cool name for my channel, Edward Myers. And of course, as always, we have got the best book or the best producer on BookTube, the man, the myth, the legend, the reader of stories to his wife at night, Jacob the Wild Man Minton.
Man, that's even more titles than I get on our own channel. I feel
Well,
honored.
I was trying not to use the same ones. I don't
Yeah,
want to get that letter from Cooter, Dewey, and Lou or something, or whatever the name is.
they
Uh,
will take you down.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
So this is just a normal. Yes, Jacob's on here, but this is just a normally weekly wrap up. This is nothing, it's not an interview. It's nothing special. So we're going to start like we always do, or I should say like Talking Story always does. Jacob, what have you read this week, if anything?
But I have read it's weird that, like, I'm doing a weekly wrap up here, and I can actually talk about a book I finished. I finished
Nice.
Kingdoms of Death, and oh my god, what a book. I mean, this is I don't wanna say that I've had a problem with Rocchio's series so far, but it feels like the one thing that I've been missing from it is this emotional tone. I haven't been sucked into these characters really because he spends so much time with Hadrian, but that's by design, so that's okay. And no spoilers, obviously, but there are some moments that just I was surprised that I was tearing up a little bit. I would not have thought Rocchio's writing would ever get that out of me. So I think Kingdoms of Death is going to be my new favorite of the series. That Howling Dark just below it, but Kingdoms of Death is the new top tier for me.
Nice. And you get to do you get to be the FOMO inspiration this time because I have got the first two books in the series, but I still have not read them. So
You haven't started it?
I have not started them. I've had dude, my TBR is ridiculous. I told, like, for instance, you'll be the first one to hear this. I told myself that I was not going to do next year as bad as I did this year, and
Mhm.
I already have a month next year that I've got 3 interviews scheduled for.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, I see why then.
2026.
How many books do you average a month then? Are you averaging like one a month?
I'm averaging probably well, I do the audiobook as well, so I probably get, like, 8 to 10 books a month on a good month, but I'm listening to
Okay,
some of
well,
those. Well, I mean, but the other ones are like homework, for instance, by the way, for all my patrons out there, they picked this book a long time ago. I finally finished The Way of a Dan. That book was
oh
excellent.
man, I do
Finished that
want to
one
get to
this
that one.
month. But like my next book I'm gonna be reading, which I think I left upstairs because I had it, I took it on my trip thinking I was gonna read it. I've got, Daedalus is Dead by Seamus Sullivan. It's a debut book, and of course, I'm reading that because I'm gonna have him on next week. So, a lot of my TBR, I can't do like your dad because I have 3 to 4 interviews a month right now, and
Yeah.
so I get done with a book, I've got another book that I have to read. So,
Oh my god,
a
man.
little crazy.
If this is gonna turn into me interviewing you, asking how many questions of what your workflow is like, so I won't bother you too much with it on camera, but that's insane. You
Yeah,
you
it's
would like this though. This series is
oh,
fantastic.
it's dude, it's on my list. It's been on my list. I just haven't gotten to it. I'm probably gonna try to start, in December because 'cause I've only got 1 interview scheduled for December, and I'm not going to add
Okay.
anybody else.
Yeah, take a break for yourself.
That's gonna be my break. It's the holidays. I'm just gonna get some reading done. So just to catch everybody up, because of the fact that I was sick earlier in the month, and then I was on vacation, so I actually haven't done a weekly wrap up. It's not a huge list because again, when you're sick, you don't get a lot of reading done. I read Fiend by Alma Katsu. That one was 5 stars. I also dropped the interview with her this week. That just dropped Monday. I read The 113th Assistant Librarian by Stuart Wilson. 4 stars, only in that it's YA. Uh, Not quite that, gonna reread it type book, but it was hilarious. The things he puts his poor kid through is ridiculous. If you've got a young reader, you're gonna love that one. Obviously, I already talked about I just finished up The Way of a Dan. That one was absolutely 5 stars. I already told Philip Chase I loved that book. Can't wait to read the next one. And then just 17 minutes ago, I finished up Turncoat, by Jim Butcher, book number 11 in the Dresden Files. That was also and I don't usually get this in series, but that one was also a 5 star for me. He is starting to piece everything together that started in book 1, and you're starting to see who's pulling the strings. the fact that this man has done that series and has had this overarching storyline that each book stands on its own, but it's led up to something. It's kind of like the early MCU, where each movie could stand on
Ooh,
its own, but it was leaning to something. There was always something in the background.
yeah. I've never
So,
read a Dresden book. Is it how far in are you?
as I said, this is book 11.
Okay,
I think the book that comes out next year is it next year or is it later this year? I think that's book 19. So I'm over halfway through.
good lord, okay.
I decided I wanted I had I mean, I had Jim on a couple years ago, and I'd read all of Cinder Spires, I'd read all of Codex Alera, but I hadn't read all of, Dresden Files, and kinda like your dad did with the Cosmere catch-up, I decided I was just gonna knock out the Dresden Files, but I'm doing it as an audiobook. James Marsters does the, narration on all but one book, and he is excellent.
Oh, man, okay,
If you
I'll
like
try that one
audiobooks,
then. Yeah,
yeah, Dresden Files, I think's the way to go. It's also nice to have that same narrator through that whole series.
for 19 books, that's insane.
Yeah, he only missed one because of a scheduling conflict, and I thought it was kind of funny because they had John Glover do it, and both of them were on Smallville, so there's a little bit of a connection there.
Huh, yeah.
Smallville's before your time. You're too young for that.
I haven't seen that yet either, but this is
No,
all
that
the
was
just
I lasted 10
Gryftkin filling
years.
up my TBR. That's what's
Yeah.
happening.
So, like I said, not a super I mean, and I've only gotten 4 books in this so far this month. You're all cut up to the 17th now, by the way. Uh, what have you watched? What's on your watching
Oh,
list?
man, I got bad news. I have you seen Alien Earth? That's what I watched this week.
I haven't. I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
It is it's a show continuing, Alien, obviously, the classic. It's on Disney/Hulu. They're all merged now. I don't know exactly where it's from, but oh man, it was. I hate to say how much of a disappointment it was. It just felt like there were 12 different tones in the show, and none of them were working together. Like I would have never thought let's do an Alien TV show and end an episode with like an action sequence cliffhanger and play Tool at the end of it. It just felt really strange. But I think I might stick with it and hope that it gets better. But I'm worried. I'm very worried. I think I'm like on like episode 5 right now.
As long as it's better than Battlefield Earth. That's also before your time. That was a
I've
horrible.
not seen Battlefield Earth, and I don't think I will add that one to my
No,
TV.
no, that was John Travolta has a history of doing a really, really great movie followed by followed by a really great, great movie, and then He just Battlefield Earth was on the downslope. That's all I'm saying. Man, it's crazy. Obviously, the other big thing I did in the last week is I went and we did the South Dakota, North Dakota. We did the Badlands. We did the cave or the Wind Caves. We did the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. So I got back from vacation. That would sound much, much cooler if I hadn't been sick for most of it. But,
Yeah.
you know, on the plus side, I got out of a few hikes with my wife. I was like, I can't breathe. You're on your own. My son went with us, so she wasn't completely on her own. They got to go do a little walk
Okay.
around.
Are you
But,
feeling better now, though? Are you doing
a
okay?
little bit, I've just got it's one of those things where, you get the sinus thing and then it moves down a little bit, and it's
Yeah,
just hanging there for,
yeah,
like, 5 days now. It's like, seriously, I couldn't have gotten better before the vacation was up.
yeah.
But if this is the most thing I've got to complain about, I'll take it. There's worse
That's
things.
a good point. Very good point. Like Alien Earth, that's the worst thing to complain about.
Yeah, I don't think we watched anything lately on my end. I know we're excited that Landman's coming back. I know your dad talked to you about Landman. I don't know if you've watched it yet.
I haven't.
So good. Uh, if my
I
mom
know
says
that whenever it comes
not
back,
for
he'll
you.
be talking about how great it is for 8 weeks while it's on.
Yeah, I don't know. Billy Bob Thornton, I think, is really having a renaissance in his old age. He's doing some really good stuff. That was good. Goliath was good. I don't
I
know who
was about
else.
to say he's all over the place now, isn't he? I feel like I'm seeing him more often these days.
Yeah, and he basically is playing. I feel like he's playing himself. I mean, he's like he's almost the same character, but he's kicking butt doing it. So, hey,
Whatever works, man. That's all that matters.
all right. So this is the weekly wrap up. I don't have a huge stuff going on next week. I do have 3. I always do, but I've got 3 interviews. Only one of them's an author, though. Preacher is going to be joining me on the 22nd at 6 p.m. Josefina from Fina Reads is going to be joining me on the 26th at that time's not right, so I'm not going to say it out loud. I just realized I forgot to change the time on my calendar. And then I've got the Seamus Sullivan interview is dropping on the 29th um, at 7 p.m. Why is that 29th sound wrong? That doesn't sound right.
We'll
Oh, that
forgive
is the
you.
29th. Okay,
It's the
so that's
sick brain.
Monday
Oh, it
because the
is right.
29th
Okay.
on Tuesday. Oh, and then Sunday, if anybody's bored, we are having a live stream with horror author Paul Jessup, and we've got videos from a bunch of different of your favorite horror authors suggesting a book of theirs and a book by somebody else that they think you should read for Halloween. I know you guys just did a whole what you should watch for spooky season, so we're doing that as well.
Yes. Man, you are busy, busy. No wonder you're sick. You needed that vacation.
I did, I did. I was like, I think there's something going around though, because I caught it right before. It was like maybe I caught it on the Friday. We went on vacation on Thursday, so I had it for a week before we left,
Oh
and
man.
this Friday will be 2 weeks.
So you were sick for the whole trip?
Yeah. Mm.
Oh my god.
I'm not normally this raspy. I've got Wolfman Jack's voice going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It works well for you though.
well, it helps that I've got a lower voice in the first place, so it's not as noticeable. But
True.
yeah,
True.
so, but I've got no complaints.
It's the way to live, man.
What's coming up on next on your guys' channel?
We have a video coming out with my dad and I, like, comparing different moments in life in reading to each other. So he will talk about a read that meant a lot to him when he was experiencing his first love, and then I'll take a turn doing the same thing. He'll do one about when he remembers moving out of his parents' house. I'll take a turn doing the same thing, and we just kind of compare our lives together and how they compare and contrast and what reads meant what to us at what times of life, which I have a lot of fun doing those kind of videos. So check it out if you want.
Oh, totally. Obviously, guys, if you're watching me, you're probably already watching Talking Story, but check them out. Man, you guys are going for the whole like emotional, intelligent, philosophical type videos, and I'm just here
That's
making fun of people.
It's fun. It's funny that you say that because it wasn't even our idea. It was Jared Henderson that told us to do that video. We were like, oh, okay, that sounds cool, but it was not our plan to do that at all.
I wouldn't even know who that was except for when I was trying to catch up on all of Discord. Somebody was talking about Jared Henderson in the Discord earlier. But I
Yeah,
don't remember what it was about, but apparently it was probably about that.
he's a larger YouTuber that does. He was a philosophy major in college, so he's got a whole PhD. He does great videos, but he gave us that idea. Much smarter than my dad or I am.
Hey, well, you've seen my videos. Intelligence doesn't always come into some of the stuff if we can avoid it.
Your videos are
So,
great, man.
so,
You do
so,
all the hard-hitting, amazing interviews that none of us have the energy to do.
yeah, I'm telling you, and I told your dad this too. I did BookTube 100% wrong,
I disagree.
backwards. I started with my first year and a half was nothing but author interviews, and then I would just have them on Twitch, edit them, post them on YouTube, and then forget about them. Which is why I had 13 subscribers after 18 months. Because
Really?
Well, I mean, it was interviews, and it was like, okay, you doing like one video. When I started, I was doing like one video a month.
Oh,
So
okay.
I wasn't doing the weekly wrap ups. I wasn't doing the top 10. I'm still not doing the top 10 lists. I
Yeah,
wasn't doing the book hauls. Uh, so
yeah.
I wasn't even doing book reviews. I was just doing author interviews. So
You know, the interviews are the most fun, though, if I'm being
it is. That's
honest.
why I do this.
Yeah.
I love talking to you guys. I love talking to people about books. But I'm really doing this to talk to the authors. That's how I started. I did it because I was in the middle of COVID. Nobody was going anywhere like they are now. The cons had all closed down for the most part. And I missed because I worked at a local bookstore that if somebody came to Omaha, they went to the bookworm. That's how
Mm.
I met Sarah Reese Brennan. She was here with Cassandra Clare and Holly Black, and she's been on. That's how I met William Kent Kruger. I know your dad really liked one of his books.
Yeah.
He stopped through here. That's how I met him. So that was just, I miss seeing those people, and I was like, I knew a couple of them that I thought I'd be on, and so I just kind of threw it out there. I'm like, I'm going to try this. I kind of shotgun, not like ridiculous, but shotgun about maybe 10 requests. And I'm like, I know I'll have Brian Freeman. He'll do it with me. We've known each other for a while, but I'm going to wait to see if anybody else says yes because I don't want to have one and then nobody. It's like, hey, you interviewed one person once. Congrats.
Yeah.
And then freaking Jen Lyons replied to me within an hour. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I guess I got to do this now. So,
Jeez, man. I mean, it sounds cheesy, but that really is like the coolest thing about BookTube is you get to talk to so many people. You don't
yeah,
realize how
oh, it
much of a
is.
difference that makes to your reading.
I love that, and I love, like, the comments. I mean, I know your dad's a huge fan of the comments too,
Yeah.
but, my Discord's not very big, but I kinda like the fact that it's small because I can respond to everybody.
Yeah.
I
It
hop in the
it
talking
feels like
story.
you recognize names more.
Yes.
It's more friendly. Yeah.
I hop into the talking story Discord after, going to work or something, and then it's like, "You're on comment 123." I'm like, "This is scan." Nope,
Yeah.
because that's just in one one thread.
Even I do that on our own Discord. Like I get tagged in something and I don't see it for 6 hours. Put up the thread and there's 80 new messages. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't even reply to that now. It's been too long.
Yeah, sometimes if people don't tag me in the other Discords,
Yeah.
obviously I check all of the stuff in mine, but if somebody doesn't tag me in another Discord, I probably don't see it.
Right. Yeah.
When I'm on,
But
I'll answer like 50 of them and then I'll go off and do something. I'll come back and there's 200 messages. I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
great conversation, guys. I'm not responding to every one of these.
Yeah. Well, I gotta hop on your Discord then. I don't think I'm on there yet.
It's a little tiny Discord. It's Gryftkin, obviously. But yeah, it's just I've got a little spot for booktubers where they could ask questions, advice. Obviously, being me, it's mainly about author interviews, how to contact people, what to decide to ask them, things like that. I've got a spot for readers that like book news, game news. I don't usually have anything that's. I'm not Patrick Leo. I don't always have the breaking news, but
Sure.
every
Yeah.
once in a while I'll get something. And then there's just the stuff for me, like I'll post an author interview or I'll post a book review or community post or whatever, throw that in there. So mine is easy to keep up with. I will give it that. But
I
every
like
once in a while,
that.
there's a couple of authors that'll hang out in there too. So you might run into somebody you know.
Yeah. I mean, we could use the interview advice because there have been so many times that my dad said, like, "Ah, maybe we should contact this author." And like, they won't talk to us. And then lo and behold, there's 3 Gryftkin videos of you interviewing them.
The biggest thing is asking, and it's the long game. It really, really, really is the long game. I had people, like Jim Butcher. I had on. Took me 2 years before he was on, though. I
Whoa.
contacted him my first year. Uh, I got lucky. Martha Wells, for instance, hadn't, she didn't have a TV show back then.
Sure.
So, I got her on. But Butcher took me a couple years. V. Schwab took me 3 years, even though we had talked. I talked to V. Schwab since she was answering her own emails, which was before Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
Now she's got an assistant, and I do not blame her because she has blown up like crazy.
Sure.
But yeah, it's like a lot of these authors. I'm like, yeah, I'll get this author on, but you don't see the fact that I emailed them 3 years ago, and then I emailed them 2 years ago, and then I emailed them 1 year ago, and they finally say I don't bug them like every 3 weeks or anything,
Yeah.
but I have my list of stuff, and there's like, who haven't I contacted this year to see if I can fit them in?
So
And
is it just
sometimes
getting
that's
them
more
to
than one. So,
answer is the what you're waiting on? It's not like scheduling conflicts, right? It's just getting them to answer.
I mean, and sometimes like I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus here. I could be in spam for all I know, but for instance, James Patterson has never responded to me, but I know it goes through a team. And I've
Right.
also talked to enough people that I know sometimes I've got my own personal website, gryftkin.com. So my email does sometimes end up in spam. I've talked to Mike for Mike's book reviews, responded to me one time. He's like, hey, I just saw your email. It was in spam. I get it.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
sometimes some of those spam filters are a little too good,
Yeah. Definitely.
but,
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
it's fun. That's why I do what I do. You know, if even if I could decided I didn't want to do the book reviews and the weekly reviews and stuff like that, or the weekly wrap ups and stuff, I would probably still do it for the author interviews just because I love talking to these people and I love bringing authors to people that may not have seen them before. Yeah,
Yeah. It'd be hard to walk away,
yeah.
for sure.
Not every author like Seamus Sullivan, who I'm doing next week. He's a debut author, so those are the ones that most people have no problem getting on. Uh, And I love being able to bring those people in front of or bring those authors in front of people, but I think you also have to have a little bit of that popular authors, because those will bring people to the channel in the first place.
Right. Yeah. Those are
And
the
I don't
people
have
that'll
anybody
stick
on
around.
just because I want them on, I haven't called Nicholas Sparks. I like his books, but that's not my niche, and it would feel kind of forced, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same reason that, like, you can get stuck with reading books that you don't wanna read. Like, if we've worried about, like, if we give too much power over to the Patreon of, like, voting however many books that my dad reads per month, it's like, then does it turn into a chore of reading books that you're not picking out for yourself? You have to do what you wanna do or you'll crash, you know?
Yeah. That's why my TBR list is usually, these are the 3 books I'm currently reading and maybe the 3 books I'm planning on reading next. And that's as far as I go.
I think that's what I gotta do next. I tried to plan out the whole year, and I think it's killing me.
Yep. One audiobook, one ebook, one physical book. That's my whole thing. Um, I think it took me 6 months to get Way of a Dan read, but that's because when I was doing 3 or 4 interviews for that chunk of time this year, I would read like a chapter of a Dan and then I'd have, "Okay, I've gotta have this book read by Friday because 'cause I'm doing an interview." And I'd have to like
Oh,
the
you'd have
book
to put
part
it to the
spent a
side.
lot of time in a den. If I could have just sat down and had nothing else going on, which is a little bit where BookTube can kind of go the other way on you, I could have read that in a week. It was that good and it was that easy.
Yeah, man. I do have to get to Way of the Dan too. I really wanna get to that one.
It is excellent.
Yeah.
I already told Philip it was one of the best books I read this year, and I've read a lot of
Really?
really good books.
You've read a lot of books in general.
Yeah, I think, what's Goodreads got me at for the year? Do, do, do,
4,000. I'm
do.
gonna put in my guess
That's
right
how I
now.
keep track of anything anymore.
It's the only way at the moment.
55
55?
for the year, yeah.
God, I think I'm at, like, 14.
Well, I mean, you get a lot of stuff going on though too.
Yeah, and you don't?
I'm a little lucky in the fact that, like, for instance, I work from home most of the time. The reason I've only got 4 books in this month is because also for the last 2 months, I had to set up the PCs. We got new PCs for the whole office, and by office, I mean all the people working from home.
Yeah.
So, I had to set all those up, schedule times for those people to come in, get their PCs, wipe their old PCs. Stuff I can't do from home, so I actually had to be in the office for the last 2 months, so I didn't have that time where I've just got, Kindle for PC up on my screen waiting for somebody to call. So, I
Yeah.
get a lot of reading done that way.
I try and do a lot of audiobooks while work, but sometimes you just do a kind of work that you can't focus on 2 things at once. You gotta turn the audiobook off. So it
Depends on what your
depends.
job is, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I do a lot of IT stuff where if nothing's pressing, I'm just waiting for, a fire to go off. So I gotta go fix
Yeah.
that. It's like, "I'll
That's
wait
the best
until the
kind of
phone
job.
rings, it'll be fine."
I like to hurry up and wait. That's I can chill and read for a couple days and then everything's on fire, but then I can chill and read for a couple days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up our week. Like I said, all I've got going on for the next couple of week or next week or two is I've got 2 booktubers and an author interview. Oh, and I still need to do my monthly book haul that I didn't do for last month yet, which much like your dad, got a little top heavy with Worldcon.
No, I
I
would
brought 5 books
imagine.
back from there.
Yeah. Geez, man. I'm surprised it's not more, to be honest.
Well, the downside is your dad told me about the author takeover at Barnes& and Noble. So I went, so I got a book from Zach Argyle, I got one from
Yeah.
Adrian Gibson, I got one from, oh, what's his face?
Kyle?
Andrew
Was
Kills a
Kyle there?
King. Oh goodness, I just brain dumped.
Oh,
Evan
Eric
Leakum? Is it Eric?
Leakum.
Evan? I think it's Evan Leakum.
Evan Leakum. I was thinking E. Yeah, Evan Leakum.
Okay, so I got those, and then, of course, Palmer Pickering was nice enough to give me a copy of her book,
Yeah.
and Phil Marshall, who you don't know is, 'cause I think this is his first book. Phil, if that's not your first book, I apologize, he gave me a copy as well. So I only paid for 3 of the books, but yeah, Worldcon was a little bit of a hit to the wallet.
A little bit, but cool books to have nonetheless.
It is, and, they're all signed too, so
Oh,
sweet.
really? Sweet.
Can't complain about that.
Never, 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 never.
Alright, so, but you got any parting words for us?
Ooh,
No pressure.
watch more Gryftkin. He has all the amazing interviews off of BookTube. Watch more Gryftkin.
Alright. But no, I appreciate you taking out some time from your evening to come and hop on in here, hang out with me. It's always fun having an extra person on just to, bounce ideas off of and stuff. And, if you're still watching this, that means you are book people. And in our book, that makes you really, really good people because I still don't want to get that lawsuit.
We got that trademarked. That one's locked down. Be careful.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
So, you know what? I thought that went really, really well. I really appreciate you showing up early for the production meeting. I think we got everything ironed out. Went really, really smooth, I thought.
And I'm just glad that this counts as a production meeting. I can't wait to shove that in my dad's face. I can't tell you how happy that makes me.